Welcome, friends, to the Beaver Dam, and we're talking about Mommy Mandalore today. Is it still worth going for this beautiful woman? Is she still mommy, or has she been forced out of the meta? Now, of course, this is a discussion that's kind of gone everywhere. I've seen it in my chats. I've even seen it pop up on Reddit, and I'm not very on Reddit very often, so I was kind of surprised to see it. But hey, it's a question that needs to be answered because I mean, most people take a look at Mommy Mandalore and all they see is a Lord Vader counter. And, you know, it makes sense. A lot of us don't have a Lord Vader counter early on in the game, even into the mid game. And it can be scary to go up against Lord Vaders because you have to throw something like a Supreme Leader Kylo Ren at it. But now with the Dark Side clones, it's looking more and more like a Supreme Leader Kylo Ren with the with like Dark Side Ray is going to be necessary, Bane is going to be necessary, something really expensive is going to have to take out Lord Vader, and it's going to be troublesome. These clones are absolutely disgusting, and so is there a room for Bo-Katan in the meta? And now we're going to start off with the meta question. We'll jump into value in just a moment, but just the meta alone, I'm going to say yes. Now, does it drop her PP rate? So passion projects are important, PPs. I had a PP to go for Bo-Katan. I wanted to go for Mandalorians for a long time because I've always loved Mandalorians in the Star Wars universe. They're one of my favorite things in all of Star Wars. And so I, even pre-Mandalorian coming out. And so I've always wanted to go for Mandalorians. I happened on a bundle that gave me a 330 shards for Keller and Beck. And so I was like, oh, guess I'm doing this. And so I jumped into a Bo-Katan farm. And I was like, I need a counter to JMK and Lord Vader that isn't the stuff that I currently have in my roster that's a little bit more consistent. Now that there's not Lord Vader, it's just JMK, which is fine. I mean, I will take a JMK counter every single day of the week. Do I see it as much on like in high kyber? The answer is no. But in early games, like if you don't have if you're up in Erodium even, and you don't have a consistent JMK counter in 5v5, you're kind of screwed. And so having a consistent JMK counter is always something. On top of that, let's bring up the data. Like, you know, they beat Gungans, they're beating the Inquisitors, they're beating DTMG. They have plenty of things that they counter in the game. They counter Great Mothers, which is another one that a lot of people see that is a hard one to counter. There is plenty. I do want to take just a second and point this out, guys. 58% win rate when you're using Rose on Finn Zori on defense, and then if you're not and you're using Poe Dameron, it goes up to 78%. Stop this. Please put Rose on your Finn Zori team. It's so much better. Anyways, sorry, side tangent. But she beats tons of stuff still. She still cleans up GLs very nicely. Even if you can get like one character out, like you can get Hermit Ezra out of an Ahsoka, you can clean it up. If you can kill Drogon or R2, she can clean up a Leia. You know, she still has plenty of viability in so many ways. I still have like, I still use her every single GAC, and on top of that, the fact that she has Bo-Katan in her list, as well as IG-12 and Grogu, both will boost up your protection and your health and bring those banners back. And so, like, you're literally bouncing back so hard because you see how many times this team attacks out of turn. It's constant. And it's, let's see, whenever a Mandalorian ally attacks out of turn, Mandalorian allies recover 8% health and protection. And so you bounce back so much. You end up with full banners so often with this team, especially in 5v5. 3v5 a little bit less so. But a full banner team in 5v5 goes a very long way, especially when it beats good teams. So just from like a meta standpoint, the answer I think is still yes. It is a little reduced, yes, because it can't counter Lord Vader, and that's what a lot of people see as the penultimate thing it can do, but it still does a ton. But the value, dude, the value overshadows everything. Mommy Mandalore is the greatest sugar mama you're ever gonna have. She's fantastic, and you know, we'll talk a bit about when you should farm her towards the end of this video, so keep tuned in. But first of all, the value of a farm where you can go for it and there's no wasted space is always amazing. You know, there's so many characters. You go for Jabba, you have Mob Enforcer, you have Gamorrean Guard, you have these characters that you're never going to use in your roster. Mommy Mandalore, you get her team, and then you get Kelleran Beck, who is one of the best teams in Territory Wars. On top of that, he is a great addition to your Qui-Gon Jinn team in GAC. And so already you have instant helpfulness of having a great team in GAC, a helpful addition to a GAC team, and a meta team in Territory Wars. Amazing stuff right there. But then also, you are getting access to the Mandalore planet in territory battles for your guild. Now, this is where the most insane value comes in from Mommy Mandalore, and I like to, say the phrase infinite kyrotech when I'm talking about getting value farms in people's rosters, when I'm telling them, hey, go for Bo-Katan. It's because it kind of feels that way. I mean, I'm going for the new clones. I just finished up a Lord Vader farm, so that was 3 characters up to gear 12, and then up into relic level that I had to do, and I'm still at, let's see, 940 of one kyrotech and 1084 of the other kyrotech. Like, it's just infinite kyrotech. And the reason this is happening is because Mandalore, if you get 3 stars on it, you're going to get 50 of each kyrotech. And then you're also going to get, if your whole guild helps out, your guild's going to get 2,500 get 2 currency, and then you're also, if the 3 stars, going to get about 500 of the get 3 currency. Now, if you're to break that down into total kyrotechs, that's 200 a month of kyrotechs, 100 of each kyrotech, plus enough currency to purchase 85 kyrotech of your choice out of the guild store. Even if you're doing, if your guild's only getting halfway done and you only have 25 people getting into the Mandalore special mission, that's still 242.5. I'm not Egnards, but I can do math. I can do math. Like, you're getting so much out of this store just being able to purchase these as often as you want, and so you're never gonna run out of kyrotech. You see here, I got 50,000 Mark II currency at this point because I can't spend it fast enough because I don't need kyrotech anymore, so I'm just buying random stuff out of the store now. So the kyrotech alone is insane, plus an extra star, all of this. Also, that kyrotech could be just shards for Malevolence or Negotiator if you're still working on those, whatever it might be. But dude, the value alone from territory battles is huge, and on top of that, the value to your account being able to leave your guild and push into a much higher guild. That's what I did. I jumped into a guild that I was definitely not in a good spot for. The guild was definitely higher than where I was at, but because I was Mandalore ready and I told them, hey, I'll get Zepho ready here pretty soon, right after I finish my next GL, I got into an amazing guild. And so being able to do that not only upped my rewards in just the sense of kyrotech that I'm unlocking, but also just the overall stars. And so that's crystals, that's gear, that's all kinds of stuff that you are going to be able to swing up into, even maybe a higher raid score. So Mommy Mandalore, I don't think is a dead farm. By any means do I think that there is an argument to be said that Mommy Mandalore is a dead farm. Now, is it a little decreased because of Lord Vader? Yes. But also, I feel like sometimes we fall into these panic mode scenarios where, because Ahsoka Tano has a counter, she's a worthless GL. No, she's still one of the hardest GLs to beat. Just because a character has a counter does not mean that it's worthless. Just because something is removed from it that it can't beat something, it doesn't mean that the character is automatically worthless. So I think we fall into that trap too often. But yeah, overall, I still think she's like a 9 out of 10 farm. I think she dropped from a 10 out of 10 farm, where I'd suggest her to like literally everyone, and like even people who are going into the early game and they're like, I want Bo-Katan. I was like, sure, why not? It's not that much to get her requirements up, and she's a ton of fun. She's gonna kill everything you see throughout everything in, like, you know, bronzium and chromium, so like go for it, I guess. But you know, it's dropped a little bit. 9 out of 10. Now, where should you farm her if you're trying to be efficient, you're trying to be good at the game? If you're sitting here and you have like 3 GLs or more, and you have at least a GL ship, maybe 2, but at least a GL ship, that is your time to farm her. She is a value farm. And so those value farms are what sets you up so you can farm everything else. And so it's not necessarily something I'd put early game, because usually you have to fight your way into a good guild. And if you have just Bo-Katan, you're not going to be able to get into a good guild off of just a Bo-Katan unless you're really, really lucky. So overall, I'd wait until you have, you know, 2 to 3 GLs, and you're working towards things. So like if you're a Lightspeed bundle player, you probably have Jabba, Executor, and like an SLKR, and then maybe a Rey. And then, you know, Mommy Mandalore might make sense to put into there as a value farm. Usually the people that I'm suggesting Mommy Mandalore to, they usually have 5 GLs. 5 GLs is that perfect spot. If you have 5 GLs and you have at least GL ship, if not 2, I'm worried that you don't have your value farms done. Value farms being Zepho ready, Mandalore ready, and then the 2 new assault battles. If you're not working on those by the time you get 5 GLs, you're kind of, you're roughing it for a lot of things in your roster. And so the you want to do it in that mid-game area so you can get the most value out of it, swing your way up into a new guild, get a butt ton of kyrotech, because like it literally funds everything. I remember when I went for Jar Jar Binks day 1, oh, let's see, that would have been what, a year and a half ago that I started that farm. Not quite, but like a year and 4 months. Something like that, when it was first announced. I dropped everything and went for Jar Jar Binks, but I was also doing Inquisitors at the time. I was like, oh, I was panicking. I was like having to buy every single kyrotech pack that came around just to keep up with the Inquisitors. And then even when I got to the point where my Inquisitors were done and I could start working on my Gungans, which was pretty early on, it was like after the first character had come out, I was still having to spend money to get the kyrotechs to be able to keep up on Gungans, so that way I could try and get a day 1 Jar Jar. Now, every time one of these new clones comes out, if I get the clone done, boom, he's at gear 12. And then it's just gear 12 to gear 13 gear. That's it. And so it's such a transformative experience for a roster. So go get Mommy Mando today. Become part of the 2%. For those of you who don't know what the 2% is, come see one of our streams and ask us on stream what the 2% is, and we'll explain what the 2% is. It's something that the actress herself talked about. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this helps you guys. If you have any questions about the farm, or if you have any declarations of love for Mommy Mandalore, throw them in the comment section. I want to hear them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for giving a damn.